Well, hello, a very warm welcome to all. James here once again, and you join me in my nice warm back room actually at the house, not in the shed velo shed, as it is rather chilly and full of stuff. So the back room is the choice for today's little job, and I'm going to introduce my 1983 or 4 Raleigh Medal or Medale. Or Medale, I think that's how you might say it. This is a very basic 5 or 10 speed sort of entry level road bike or racer as they were known, and my particular version came to me years ago, and it's been sort of kicking about for a long time, and I've used it as a sort of a test bed for various different transmissions and general setups. And I think the original bike had 27-inch wheels, I think. I might be staying corrected on this, but judging by the sort of clearances that I've got, having fitted and always used 700C wheels, I think that is very much the case. So yes, I pulled it out of the shed fairly recently to recommission it, ready for my sort of winter commutes, and it didn't need a great deal doing, but I've just made a few changes and got it sort of ready to go. But today I'm going to endeavour to show you me putting on some bar tape, which is something that I've treated myself to. The bar's already wrapped, but I've decided to go for another layer of something a bit more colourful. So I've treated myself to some New Balm's cloth tape, which should be just the job, and some of the twine to do some binding. I don't normally go quite as fancy as this, but I just felt like it on this bike, and actually on the frame decals on the sort of seat tube, the decal there, the Raleigh emblem, has a lovely sort of maroon background to it, and I think this tape is a fairly good match, so this is what I'm going to put on there. So I've been wanting to try this for a while, and I've looked at quite a few other sort of great videos showing you the basic technique, and especially how to sort of finish off the binding with its sort of invisible ends, as it were, which is very neat. So the bars are already wrapped with some fairly sort of generic sort of black synthetic bar tape, which is okay, but I thought if I add this cloth tape on it, it will add an extra little a layer of cushioning for my mitts, and yeah, I think it should work out quite nicely, hopefully. And I might add that when you buy a roll of this stuff, it does state that there's enough to do basically the hooks on a pair of drop bars, but not a full pair of drop handlebars all the way up to the centre. So that one roll should work out fine for me, but we shall see. It might be famous for last words, but I'm hoping that because I'm only really essentially doing the main grip area and just a bit of the, well, sort of the curve, I should have plenty. By the way, the bars are a pair of Soma 3-speed sort of moustache bars, I suppose you would call them, but I've got them turned upright, which just gives me a little bit of extra height, and it puts me in a fairly nice position for this bike. And yeah, that's the handlebar I'm using, and this is one of two pairs I've got, and I find them to be really quite comfortable, and I love the look of them as well. So without further ado, I shall begin, and yeah, I hope it all goes okay. Right, so this nice new balm tape has some adhesive on it, so it will stick quite well on there. So we shall begin wrapping. Now I can afford to take a fairly slim overlap on this, I think, because of the fact that I've already got some tape on here already. So we shall go with something like that, I think. I think this is generally a little bit narrower than sort of the modern tapes that you get, synthetic tapes. So I think on its own it would have been just a little bit on the thin side perhaps, and I have indeed. I've got some similar tape, cloth tape, on another bike, and it on some drops, and I've done just a single layer of it, and it's okay, but it's not doesn't give you much cush. So I think the addition of this first layer that's already on here is going to be most welcome, I think. So I think you get the picture with how this is going to proceed. So I'm going to finish winding that on and working out if I have enough to do both sides, and I shall come back to you when I've untangled myself and I'm going to do the twine binding at the end here. So here you can see I've got the New Balm's tape wrapped around the bars as best I can, and I'm just about to add the twine to hide the electrical tape here, and there's a particular way of doing this which I've never tried before, and I'm going to endeavour to have a go now. So I've got the black twine from the same place as I got the tape from, and I'm going to basically cover the width of that tape and maybe come onto the cloth tape a little bit. So I'm going to start around about down here somewhere, and what I need to do is leave a tail on the top, and then wind this around to just trap that like so. And then basically now I need to proceed and wind this as far up as it will go. I basically halved the length that you get when you purchase this. So I should have equal amounts for both sides. So I've got a decent amount wound on there, and before I get, it's like the last few winds, or as many as you like really, as long as your tail is, this tail that you left has to be looped over, and you can proceed a little bit further. And it goes without saying, this deserves a little bit of time because it's a little bit fiddly, but I think it's worth it. Right, so at this point I have wound on, I think, as much as I need to, and I'm now going to pass the end of that through the loop there. And now the bit that you left in the beginning, the other end of your loop, can now be pulled through. You may have to just push things up a little bit. That just tucks under there like so. And then we can just nip that off there and just tuck that under a tiny bit more, and then little trim there. And I think for my first attempt I'm quite happy with that, and I'm going to just sort of push it about a bit and see if I can just tidy it up a little bit. But I'm reasonably happy with that. So there we are, both sides now with the binding, and as I thought, the second side I did off camera worked out a little bit neater. I got it a little bit tighter, so it just worked out a bit better, but that's to be expected. Nothing that can't be redone and tidied up a little bit, but generally speaking I'm quite happy with that. Now to finish off, I've got, I had initially bought some Velox end plugs, which, if it will focus, I can show you here, and they work by, once you've pushed them in, you obviously tighten up the end screw and it just squashes the rubber part out. Now in these particular bars, I found that the washer here is just a little bit on the big side to the point where it makes it quite difficult to get that in there. So I will find a slightly smaller washer and pop those on another time. But I had a look in the stash and came up with, just as a temporary thing, or maybe this is what I'll leave on there, but some fairly cheaply made, but nonetheless Raleigh stamped plastic plugs, which seem to fit reasonably well. So for the time being, I'm going to pop those in. So for the time being, that will do, I think. As I say, I will probably come back to revisit that possibly again, because as is the case with a lot of us, I think I'm fair to say that we can never leave anything alone and end up fiddling with things and readjusting and tinkering. So yeah, we'll see how we get on with that. Well, I hope that gives you a little impression of what I've been up to, and like I say, this is my first time trying that kind of finish to a bar wrap, and yeah, I was quite pleased with that and quite enjoyed doing it. As I say, you need plenty of time to do that, and I've sort of shown the relevant bits to achieve that. So yeah, I'm quite pleased with how that's gone. So there's a couple of other, or there's quite a few other good videos showing how to do this, and actually with quite probably slightly better outcomes really. To note, Rowan at Velocipedian showed how to do this, I believe. If you look back through his videos, you'll find that that's put across very nicely. And also Toasty Rides, he's done a couple of videos where he's wrapped his bars with some cloth tape and used this binding technique at the end to to finish that off. So yeah, that was a little bit of the inspiration, and I've seen this on so many bikes and thought it looked lovely, as opposed to just a bit of electrical tape, which is very practical and does the job, but not particularly elegant. So yes, a little bit over the top for my winter commuter, but I thought, why on earth not? And I just about got away with one roll of the New Balms tape. I ended up unravelling it all and just halving it, and that gave me just about enough. If I wanted to, I could theoretically redo it and get another roll without too many troubles. Things to note, the tape is very good quality. The adhesive on this version of the tape, I believe you can get it without, is really quite strong, and I found, unless you're very careful, it will adhere to itself obviously, and you'll end up with sort of folded sort of crease sections, which is not really what you want. But yeah, as far as attaching it to the bike, to the bars, that's it's more than adequate for the job. So yeah, I think that's about it. And as I say, with a little change of washer on the Velox bar end stops there, I think I probably will pop those in at some point. But these bars, incidentally, they're slightly larger overall diameter than the 22.2mm bars, and so grip choice is a little limited. So I thought this is one of the reasons why I'm going for a bar tape, and yeah, this has worked out rather well. Yes, the bike itself, I'm going to make another video and do a basic bike check so you can get a better look outside in better light. I just wanted to get this done as I had a chance today, and so with that, as I say, not a how-to, but it's how I've done it, and I'm quite pleased with the results. And so with that, I should like to say all the best to you all, and I'll see you again soon. Cheerio.